just kind of a real, not so much a realization as a reflection. Sorry
Mm-hmm.
for messing with this, but
Mm-hmm.
um, and things aren't going my way. Things are sort of not along the path I want them to, or maybe they're actually some sort of discomfort going on. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
emotional or physical or both, or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
What I've kind of grown used to saying in those moments, recently at least, is, and even in this, whatever this experience I'm having, um, it's already completely okay. It's already perfect. There's nothing to do about this. And that some part of my mind is saying, no, but it can't be that. It's got to feel better than this, or it's got to be this way or that way,
Mm-hmm.
glow more, or whatever. So I found that I I've gotten used to that. I don't know if that makes any sense, but to kind of look at it that way, that no matter what arises, whether it's fantastic, happy stuff or really miserable, nasty stuff,
Mm-hmm.
it's all good. It's okay. It's okay. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It's very simple. And I've said, and the phrase is just, and even in this
Yeah.
experience,
Even
it's
this, even
even
this,
this, right?
even
There's
this.
nothing excluded. No experience that is
Right.
excluded.
It's funny. When you use those words, even this, it makes me think of that very well known saying, "Even this shall pass,"
Mm.
which is lovely because it gives the teaching on impermanence. But can you see how to say, "Even this shall pass," is creating the now we're kind of holding our breath, waiting for the thing to pass, waiting for the thing to change. So even that's kind of a wasting of our opportunity.
I agree. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So even this does not need to pass. What if it's going to be this way for the rest of your
Mm.
life? Some things are. Some things are. You know, as some of us get older, that's a joke. As some of us get older, uh, some of the physical things that used to, oh, this thing hurts, or this thing, and then after a while it goes away. We're getting more used to the idea some of the stuff's not going away. Right, some of the stuff, and it can be physical things, it can be life situations. Now, always there's the disclaimer: this doesn't mean becoming passive and apathetic. There's the level of action where we taking care of business, and that has its own importance. But that's not in conflict. It seems like it would be in conflict, right? And this is a big stumbling block for people who haven't deeply explored what we're deeply exploring. They think, oh, well, meditating and discovering that supposedly everything's fine in the moment means you become passive and apathetic, and you let your whole life go to hell. But there is this thing that it seems like a paradox. It's hard to explain it logically, but we just experience it on one level, the level of action. We take action. We do what we can to make things as pleasant as possible for ourselves and those around us. But at the same time, at this deep, that's on the level of doing. On the level of being, we're being with things as they are, and discovering the deep perfection of things as they are, including the deep perfection of what on the level of action we have to call imperfection. Are you hearing that? I'm not asking does that make sense, because logically it doesn't make sense. But do some of you recognize this in your experience of the living of it? Yeah, yeah.
I wonder why you're calling it, it has to be a perfection. I mean, isn't that also just a judgment from outside of being? We're just making a judgment. Do you know what I'm talking?
Yeah, yeah, and I hear what you're saying, Kathy. Now it's an interesting point because this is one of the limitations of language. We have the kind of the usual senses in which we use certain words that have opposites. Perfection is the opposite of imperfection, right? I'm trying to build my little Lego structure of that I call my life, and whoa, it's imperfect. It's tipping over here. Oh, it's imperfect, and then I get it. Oh, it's just right. Oh, now it's perfect. It looks great. It's balanced. It's not going to fall. But then I got to watch it. Oh, wait a minute. Now it's right. So that's perfection, and it could be my life. It could be the whatever, making the birthday cake, and putting on the frosting and happy birthday, Kathy, and then I realize I left the A out of Kathy, and oh God, now it's imperfect, right? So that's on the conventional. Again, that's on the level of doing, on the level of acting, where all these things have opposites. Perfection has the opposite, imperfection. Happiness has the opposite, unhappiness. But this is at a deeper level, at the level of being. It's all and the we use the phrase sometimes. I used it in the meditation today. The natural great perfection. That's a literal translation of the Tibetan term Zogpa Chempo, which is usually shortened to Dzogchen, and that's a style of practice, which is the recognition, because a whole lot of meditative practice is, okay, well, I'm trying to perfect my mind. I'm trying to, by sharpening my concentration and pushing away the thoughts and getting rid of the negative thoughts, and I'm trying to perfect my emotions by purifying them and getting rid of the all the so-called bad emotions and only having the good ones. Or what in the Dzogchen practice, we're resting things as they are, and the perfection of things, even what we would on the surface level call imperfect, dawns. The recognition. It's always there. It's all that there is. Don't take my word for it, because we only can see these things through practice, and through practice, the recognition of it dawns. And I think a lot of people have moments who maybe have never practiced meditation, maybe never delved into these ways of insight, have moments where somehow, for no good reason, you didn't just win the lottery, you didn't just get a good MRI back from your doctor, you didn't, you didn't just get your book proposal accepted. Nothing changed on the level of action, but somehow there's a sense of everything's fine. There's a sense of, just perfection of it all, just as it is, in a way that you can't explain to anyone else. Maybe you've had that. I think a lot of people have it, but they don't have a vocabulary to talk about it, and they don't have people to talk about it with, which is one of the reasons that Sangha, that the group like this is so important, that we check this stuff with each other and go, oh yeah, right, I've experienced that. It's not just a concept, it's not just a philosophy. It was so simple, and that kind of helps give us the direction. Oh yeah, it was simple, it was right here. There was nothing to do. I was a kid, I was sitting out and back under the old apple tree, and there's a story actually that the Buddha, when he was sitting under the big fig tree, what we've come to call the Bodhi tree, in his, according to the story, 49 days and nights of meditation, that just as he was near the end of that, as his his enlightenment, his recognition of the natural great perfection of things as it was dawning, he remembered, oh yeah, one time when I was a kid, I was sitting under another apple tree, the rose apple tree, and my dad was supervising his workers. They were plowing the fields, and the plows and the workmen were going back and forth. It was a drowsy summer day, and I just kind of got lulled by that, and just, oh, the simplicity of being everything just as it is, the perfection of that just dawned for me. I've been here before. And without any meditation, without any, it was so natural.